Generational wealth refers to financial assets that are passed on by one generation of a family to another. And those assets can include cash, stocks, other investments, as well as real estate and family businesses. And so to build generational wealth that you can pass on, you need to acquire assets or save money that you won't need to spend in retirement. You then pass down the money and assets to children or other younger relatives. And this is important because it helps to keep the stability of the family and can help to ensure that the next generation has an opportunity to succeed. So while putting together today's show, I came across a really good article on Clever Girl Finance that simplified the concept of building generational wealth. It made it look easy, right? You simply have to acquire assets or save cash that you don't intend to spend in retirement. And again, you then pass those assets along to the younger generations when you pass away. Okay. Sounds easy in concept, but can be difficult to put into practice. If you are struggling to build your savings, then saving for the next generation can sound absolutely overwhelming, and that's completely understandable. By the way, it is critically important to nail down your own retirement plan and your other financial goals before you start saving for generational wealth. But once you have a handle on your current finances to fund your golden years, then it is time to start saving beyond that. So, how should you start saving for generational wealth? Well, here are some of the best ways to start preparing to leave a legacy of wealth for your children and your grandchildren. Number one, invest in the stock market, right? The stock market is a great vehicle to help create generational wealth over the long term. If you're aiming to build that wealth that perpetuates generations, then it is a great option because it has the potential to continue growing for many, many decades. But investing in the stock market can be scary, especially if you've never tried it, especially this year, right? Okay, just think of it as being on sale. Okay, stocks are on sale, and over the long haul, the stock market has gone up and is an excellent way to build wealth for both your time and beyond. Okay, number two would be to invest in real estate. Real estate is another major way to help build wealth for the long term. With the potential for steady cash flow payments from tenants, in addition to increasing property values over time, real estate can be a reliable path to wealth. Number three, build a business to be able to pass down. Family businesses have the potential for great success, and more than 30% of family-owned businesses transition to the second generation. Imagine being able to hand over the keys to a successful business to your kids, okay? For a great chance of that successful transition, you should include your kids in the business from a young age. They need to know how the business operates from the ground up and on every single level in order for them to continue the business, okay? But don't expect them to take over if they show no interest in the business that you've built. If they are either unable or unwilling to take over operations, then you should consider selling that business to be able to fund generational wealth in another form, okay? Number four, take advantage of life insurance. Life insurance provides the opportunity to protect your family in the event of your untimely death. Without your income, your spouse, your children, they may be forced into a less than ideal financial circumstance, okay? If you make the effort to invest in a life insurance policy now, then it could prevent financial tragedy. Plus, your family members will already have enough to cope with if they lose you unexpectedly, okay? Not sure what type of life insurance coverage you should be pursuing for your family. Give me a call to learn how that you can use this as a financial tool to safeguard your family's financial future, okay? This is one of the top ways that the wealthy pass on generational money to their heirs. And the best part, It's all tax-free wealth. Number 5, invest in your kids' education. In many cases, education can provide a way for your children to support themselves. And we all want that as our goal. Nobody wants to have a 30-year-old living in our basement mooching off mom and dad. All right. By obtaining a college degree or a trade skill, many of those kids have the opportunity to then pursue high-paying jobs that can help them navigate their own finances. And so if you have the ability to help your children further their education without any debt, then you're helping to set them up for a much, much brighter future than many of their peers. Because as of 2022, the average student loan debt for college graduates was almost $38,000. It's possible, if not probable, that number will climb even higher in the future. Imagine the amount of financial pressure you'll be able to lift from your kids' shoulders with the ability to pay for their financial education, right? And regular education. So if you have the ability, definitely set them up for success, okay? Number 6, create multiple streams of income. And we've talked about this before. When it comes to building generational wealth, creating multiple streams of income can make it much easier. In fact, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. And there are a variety of different income streams, but one of the best is known as passive income. Active income is when you trade time for money, like going to your job, or if you have a side hustle, maybe you cut grass on the side. Passive income is when you earn from your assets after the initial setup without much time. So for instance, rental properties, if you write a book, you get book royalties. If you happen to have money that you're able to lend out and charge interest on that, those are examples. So you do have to put in some work on the upfront side, but once the initial foundation is built, okay, you continue to earn from those efforts. And then last, number 7 is pay yourself first. I think we talk about this on most shows. Saving and investing money for the future is key for how to create generational wealth. And the easiest way to save more money is to pay yourself first. For instance, as soon as you get a paycheck, okay, you deposit money into your savings accounts, your investments accounts before anything else. Because if you wait, guess what? You're not going to have anything left over. An even better way is to automate it so that once you set it, you forget it, okay? So those are some steps that'll help you to build generational wealth, but there are some additional things that you can do in order to pass that wealth on to the next generation. If you want to ensure a smooth ride for your financial assets as they transition, number 1, create an estate plan, because that is absolutely essential to securing an easy transition of those assets. The larger your estate, the more complicated the plan will become. And at any stage, I'm going to recommend that you consult with an estate attorney about how to create that plan. At a minimum, you need to write a will. A will may be included in your estate plan, but it's important to create one even if you don't have an estate plan. The will should include your exact wishes. The more specific you can be about your plans for any of those assets that you've accumulated, the better. Because without a will, it's not uncommon for things to get ugly between surviving family members. Think about it. Emotions are high because they've already lost you, okay? And you can prevent a lot of ugliness and financial trauma when you set clear guidelines in your will, okay? And lastly, you need to name beneficiaries on all of your accounts. Very, very simple way to ensure that your accounts pass easily to that next generation is to name them as beneficiaries on all of your accounts. And if you were to pass away, by doing so, by naming them, the beneficiaries receive the funds with minimal effort. And it only takes a few minutes to set these things up and let people know who your intended beneficiaries are, but it can save countless hours for your family later on. So building wealth to last for generations is not an easy feat, but it is an admirable undertaking. And after you have your own financial situation under control, safeguarding your family's future is that next step. So take the time to both create and implement a wealth building strategy that works for your family. Not everyone wants to invest in real estate or build a business. So find something that works for your situation. Whatever strategy you choose, just make sure to pass your financial know-how down to your children so that they're already one step ahead of the game as they make their way into the world. And that is today's meat on the bone.